Have you ever felt self-conscious or been defensive? Guess what? It's likely due to shame. I know, I did not know this either until I started really researching shame and trying to understand how it affects our relationships, and it does affect our relationships. If you've ever not had sex because you didn't like how your body looked, if you've ever been defensive when your partner mentioned something about your parenting style or your communication style and you got really defensive about it, guess what? All of those things are likely rooted in shame. So today I'm going to talk to you about what it is, how you likely are responding, and what to do about it. So let's get to it. Now, I say shame is the silent killer eating at the foundation of your relationships because, again, we don't always know it's there. And basically at its core, shame itself is this feeling of unlovability, that somehow we are flawed in a way and we are unworthy of deep connection and love. And we become fearful of connecting in our current relationships because of past hurts. And again, some of those hurts are things that you likely don't realize are shame. So things like physical, mental, sexual abuse, we really understand. We go, oh yeah, shame is really involved in those things. I get it. But what you might not realize is that it also you could have grown up in a house where you were told things like, oh, your brother's really better at baseball. You probably want to pick another sport. Or maybe you knocked over a glass of juice at the dinner table and you would hear things like, oh my gosh, you're such a klutz. You're always doing stuff like this. You're so uncoordinated. What's wrong with you? Over small things. And believe it or not, those can fester and build, and shame is attached to those, that we feel somehow that we're unworthy. So there are three main ways that we disconnect from people. And this is the research from Linda Hartling and Jane Baker Miller, who are really at the forefront of this kind of research and work way back in the 80s. And they talk about how we have three ways that we usually deal with shame. One is that we move away from it. So you might isolate, you might keep secrets, don't want to share things, don't want to talk about it. You might move toward it, and those are people who end up being very people-pleasing and codependent. Or the third way is that you might move against it, and those are the fighters. If you're a fighter out there, this might be you, where there's a lot of defensiveness, or you want to hurt the other person the way they hurt you, or what you perceived as a hurt, and you lash out. So those are the three ways. Brene Brown actually calls these shame shields. It's a really interesting way of thinking of it. And since I mentioned Brene Brown, she's sort of the queen of vulnerability and shame and that kind of thing. So no little quick video would be complete without talking about her. And I really like how she frames the steps to deal with shame. And she talks about it in 3 steps. And the first is reckoning. And this is when you're mindful, you actually notice that you're having a reaction. Maybe your partner did say something about, and maybe very innocently, hey, you don't want to diaper the kid that way. We put the diaper on this way. And because you're feeling inadequate as a parent, or you're new at it, or you don't, you're feeling like you're just not being good, maybe because your own parent wasn't good or something, or just from some other source, and you get defensive and lash out at that person. Or, maybe you your mate questions some decision that you made at work. Maybe they, oh, really? Did you do it that way? Why'd you do that? And again, you see this as an attack, and you get very defensive and angry because really you're feeling threatened maybe as the breadwinner, or that your job you're stupid and you don't make good decisions at work, or they don't think much of you, they don't respect you. We take it all the way out, and it doesn't need to go there. So all of these have roots in shame because we feel somehow that we're not doing a good job, that there's something deep, that if people knew about us, they wouldn't love us anymore or like us anymore. So the reckoning is really this being mindful and really noticing how you're feeling. Oh, wow, I just had this strong reaction of my partner kind of offhandedly mentioning that I should tape the diaper this way instead of this way. Why is that such a big deal to me? That's interesting. And you want to get curious. This is the key. You don't want to beat yourself up. Oh, why'd I have that reaction? I'm always overreact or whatever. You just want to be loving and curious. This is, I talked about self-compassion last week, and this is really related to that. Why did I have that reaction? I wonder what that was from. I noticed it. There you go. That's the reckoning. Then she talks about her second step of the 3 is rumbling. And rumbling is where there's this, now we come to a reality check. So now I've seen that I had this reaction to something. What am I telling myself about it? What's the narrative I have going on in my head? And that might be where you notice, well, obviously, he or she doesn't respect me, or they wouldn't have made that comment. And, you start to realize the story you're saying, and is that true? And you need to check it. You need to go, well, actually, in all the rest of our relationship, my partner shows that they respect me all the time. So why am I so upset about this area? Do I think that they just don't respect me as a parent? Is that real? Or as a breadwinner, or as a worker, or whatever? Or am I blowing something up that shouldn't be there? So you're going to reality check it. You're going to ask it questions. You're going to really test it to see, is that real? Or is that something that I've just told myself for so long that I've actually created in my head? And then really what you want from that is to have a new understanding. The goal is to come away from your rumbling with a new understanding of the situation. Like, wow, I always react when he or she talks about my food, eating, or I always react when they talk about my parenting or whatever. You start to just notice that and have a new understanding, like, wow, maybe that's me, maybe that's not them, or I wonder what's really behind that. Again, that curiosity. And then the last piece, the third step, is revolution, meaning that you actually change how you react in that situation so that you can act, not react. That the next time the same thing comes up, you can stop yourself, check in, and really decide if this is the best course of action or not. So there you have it. Those are the 3 ways that you can deal with shame from the fabulous Brene Brown. And I'm going to end with a quote from her that I love. She says that when we bury the story, we forever stay the subject of the story, right? We're always in it. And if we own the story, we get to narrate the ending. So here is to all of you narrating the ending, you getting to decide what the ending is of your story. That's it. I'm Dr. Abby Metcalf. I help people create lasting change in their relationships, even if their partner won't do a thing. If you want to hear a lot more about shame, you can check out my podcast. We'll link to it right below this video, or you can read about it on the website.